Have you ever wondered what makes old age so miserable for those who didn't prepare? It's not the gray hair or the wrinkles or the slower pace. It's the absence of certain key things that bring meaning, connection, and joy to our later years. Too many people assume that misery in old age is inevitable, that loneliness, boredom, and regret just come with the territory. But that couldn't be further from the truth. What actually makes the difference? What separates a life of quiet suffering from one of peace and dignity are 6 simple but essential elements that most people don't even realize they're missing. In this video, we're going to walk through 6 things that every person needs in their 70s and beyond in order to feel whole, valued, and alive. These aren't luxuries. They're not complicated, but when they're missing, the days start to feel longer, the nights lonelier, and the spirit a little dimmer. On the surface, these may sound small, but underneath, they hold the power to transform how you move through this season of life. Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand what's been missing, you'll know exactly how to start bringing it back. These 6 things aren't just nice to have. Without them, old age can feel hollow, but with them, something shifts. Joy returns, confidence grows, and you remember who you are, not just who you used to be. Number 1, the presence of a purposeful daily routine. As we age, life can sometimes feel like a collection of unremarkable days that blend together. Yet a purposeful daily routine holds the key to transforming our experience. Every morning, I like to remind myself that even the simplest action, such as making a cup of tea or reading a few pages of a favorite book, can set a meaningful tone for the entire day. Consider the story of Walter, a 76-year-old retired mechanic who once embraced the freedom of retirement. Initially, his days felt unhurried and easy, but over time, the lack of structure left him feeling adrift. The joy of having no alarms or schedules slowly gave way to a sense of emptiness. When Walter began incorporating simple habits, watering his garden, reading 1 chapter of a good book each day, writing letters to old friends, his days transformed. He discovered that a routine, no matter how modest, served as an anchor, bringing structure and renewed meaning to his life. Research shows that having a daily routine not only improves mental clarity but also strengthens emotional well-being. Studies indicate that older adults with regular, mindful routines tend to experience less stress and feel more connected to their inner selves. This simple act of designing one's day can be a powerful tool against the creeping sense of loneliness and inactivity that sometimes accompanies later life. Let me share with you another example. Sarah, a vibrant 72-year-old retired teacher, found that crafting a morning ritual, even one that started with a quiet reflection and a walk around her block, helped her begin each day with a clear sense of purpose. Sarah's garden, which she tended religiously, bloomed with the care and attention she gave it, reminding her that every small act could nurture growth and joy. Remember, it doesn't have to be a grand schedule. Sometimes all you need is one action that makes you feel that your day matters, that you are part of a greater tapestry of life. What is one simple daily ritual that once brought you comfort or joy, and how might you reintroduce that routine into your current day? Number 2, the habit of maintaining physical vitality through small habits. Our bodies are magnificent vessels that carry us through life, and it's natural to notice changes as the years pass. The key to maintaining physical vitality is not necessarily in undertaking rigorous exercise programs, but in honoring our bodies with small, consistent habits that keep us active. Imagine Harold, an 81-year-old man who was once known for his remarkable strength and energy. After an unexpected illness, he gradually reduced his physical activity. What started as a few missed walks turned into a significant decline in strength and confidence. Soon, even simple tasks became daunting. However, when Harold began to introduce small habits, like 10 minutes of gentle stretching each morning and short walks around the neighborhood, his body responded. The gradual return to regular movement rekindled his vitality and helped restore his confidence. It's not about pushing yourself to the limits. Instead, physical vitality is nurtured by appreciating your body's needs and responding with compassion. Even standing while brushing your teeth or doing light resistance work with a band can have significant cumulative benefits. Research indicates that regular, low-impact activity helps reduce the risk of falls, keeps joints flexible, and even has a positive impact on mood. The body is resilient. It simply needs regular reminders of its strength. Another example is Mary, a 70-year-old who found solace in daily walks with her neighbor. These walks not only kept her physically active, but also provided daily moments of companionship and conversation. Mary later shared that these simple outings brightened her days, reinforced her self-worth, and made her feel not only physically stronger, but emotionally uplifted as well. Remember, small habits make a big difference. Consistent, gentle activities are the stepping stones toward maintaining a sense of strength and the comfort of knowing your body is still capable of graceful motion. If you're still here, thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. If today's message touched something true in your life, just comment number 2 so I know you're here. And if you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss what's next. This channel is a gentle space where experience matters, kindness is shared, and growing older means something. I'm truly grateful you're here. Number 3, the presence of emotional connection with others. One of life's true treasures is the deep, genuine connection we have with others. It's in these relationships that we find comfort, joy, and the unspoken understanding that we are not alone. As we age, the challenge of sustaining these connections may feel more daunting, especially as loved ones become distant or as life circumstances shift. Yet emotional connection remains a cornerstone of a fulfilling life. Take Ruth's story, a 78-year-old widow who once lived a life brimming with companionship. As time passed and friends moved away or grew quieter, Ruth began to feel an ache deep within her, an inner void where once there was laughter and shared stories. She started to wonder if her voice still mattered. Even as her family grew preoccupied with their own lives, that essential need for connection never diminished. Ruth's journey is a reminder that emotional ties are not merely pleasant add-ons. They are essential for sustaining both our mental and physical health. Recent studies have found that older adults who maintain strong social connections have lower risks of depression and cognitive decline. These findings emphasize that small, consistent gestures of connection, a phone call, a visit, or even a handwritten note, can make a remarkable difference. In fact, research shows that social isolation can raise stress levels and is associated with various health challenges, whereas genuine human connection can mitigate these risks, reinforcing the truth of life lessons from the elderly as they remind us that our bonds matter profoundly. Consider Harold's neighbor Linda, who started hosting a weekly tea party in her community center. These gatherings became a safe haven where laughter was shared, stories were exchanged, and the simple acknowledgement that someone cared made all the difference. For Linda and her friends, these moments were more than just social events. They were lifelines that reconnected them with their own narratives and the wisdom of shared experiences. And speaking of wisdom, let me share with you that life lessons from the elderly teach us that every conversation matters, every smile is meaningful, and every shared moment is a testament to our resilience and capacity to love. Think back to a moment when a friend, neighbor, or family member reached out to you in a time of need. What did that connection mean to you, and how might you extend that gesture of care to someone else today? Number 4, the habit of mental stimulation and curiosity. Even as our bodies may slow down, our minds have the innate ability to remain vibrant and curious. A stimulating mind not only defies boredom, but also fosters emotional resilience and opens the door to new experiences, even in our later years. Leonard, an 83-year-old retired accountant, once prided himself on solving complex puzzles at work. After retirement, he found that the familiar routines of daily life no longer challenged him intellectually. Days became a tapestry of repetitive shows, old newspapers, and a lingering sense of stagnation. Then, something remarkable happened. His granddaughter gifted him a set of crossword puzzles. At first, the challenges seemed formidable, and his initial attempts were hesitant, but as he dedicated a little time each morning to these puzzles, his mind began to awaken. Slowly but surely, Leonard rediscovered his love for problem-solving, his memory sharpened, and his curiosity blossomed once again. This simple act became a catalyst for mental rejuvenation and underscored the beauty of lifelong learning. Scientific research supports that continual mental stimulation, whether through games, learning a new skill, or engaging in creative pursuits, can delay the effects of cognitive decline and improve overall mental health. By inviting a little challenge into our daily lives, we not only exercise our minds, but also reaffirm our capacity to grow, adapt, and thrive despite the passage of time. Many life lessons from the elderly gently remind us that learning is a lifelong journey. Consider the example of Eleanor, a 75-year-old who took up watercolor painting after decades of putting it off. At first, her strokes were uncertain, but with time, she discovered that every brush stroke not only revived her artistic spirit, but also offered a fresh perspective on life. Each painting session became a moment to reflect, to innovate, and to embrace the beauty that comes from continual exploration. Curiosity keeps the mind agile and transforms the everyday into an opportunity for discovery. By indulging in your interests, no matter how small, you set your mind alight with possibility and remind yourself that every day holds a lesson, a mystery, and a spark waiting to be uncovered. If you're still here, thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. If today's message touched something true in your life, just comment number 4 so I know you're here. And if you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss what's next. This channel is a gentle space where experience matters, kindness is shared, and growing older means something. I'm truly grateful you're here. Number 5, the presence of self-worth and dignity. There comes a point in life when the world stops looking at you the same way. Cashiers speak slower, doctors speak over you, and family members make decisions without asking, making you feel small, as if your value has somehow expired, leaving you an extra in the background of everyone else's busy lives. But growing older doesn't make you less important, losing certain abilities doesn't make you less worthy, and needing help doesn't mean you've lost your dignity. What causes the real misery in old age is forgetting your worth, or worse, being treated as if it's gone. Consider Carol, a 77-year-old former nurse who had spent decades taking care of others. After a fall left her relying on a walker, she noticed that people started treating her differently. Conversations went around her rather than with her, and even strangers assumed she couldn't think for herself. Even family began speaking in a softer tone, as if she were fragile in every way. Carol didn't resent the help. What she missed was the respect, the sense that she was still capable of making her own choices. Growing old might change certain abilities, but it should never change the recognition of your inherent value. When you're spoken to with dignity, when you're given choices, asked for your opinions, and treated as an equal, your health improves, your confidence rises, and your spirit remains intact. It's not just about how others treat you, but also about how you treat yourself. Are you still speaking kindly to yourself? Are you giving yourself credit for the wisdom, endurance, and experiences that have shaped you? Self-worth doesn't come from achievements, looking young, or moving fast. It comes from remembering your story, from knowing that you've lived, loved, lost, learned, and kept going. Every wrinkle has a reason, every scar has a name, and every day you keep showing up is a quiet act of strength. So if the world has made you feel invisible, let this be a reminder. Your worth was never based on how fast you walked or how much you could carry. It was never about titles or appearances. It's about presence, about who you are right now, and that is enough. Can you recall a moment when someone's kindness or recognition helped you feel valued? How might you use that memory to bolster your self-esteem today? Number 6, the feeling of being needed by someone or something. There's a kind of quiet emptiness that settles in when you no longer feel needed. It's not the same as loneliness, it's something deeper, touching your very sense of purpose. When no one calls for your advice, when your presence feels optional instead of essential, when you can disappear for a few days and no one notices, that's when the real weight of old age can set in. Deep down, every one of us wants to matter, to know that our life still adds something to someone else's existence. Consider Frank, an 84-year-old man who had raised a family, built a business, and been a rock for his community. In his later years, after his wife passed and his kids moved far away, something shifted. They still loved him, of course. They called sometimes, but the day-to-day interactions were gone. The favors, the little questions like, "Can you help me with this?" Those moments faded. Without them, Frank began to feel invisible, as though the world was perfectly fine without him. Then a neighbor's child started coming by after school just to chat. Frank would share stories, listen to her ideas, and encourage her drawings. It was a small, 15-minute visit a few times a week, but it changed everything. Suddenly he had something to prepare for, someone to look forward to, someone who needed him, not for what he used to be, but for who he still was. Doctors have found that feeling useful, even in the smallest ways, can lower depression, reduce cognitive decline, and even extend life expectancy. But beyond the studies, there's something even more profound. Being needed brings back hope. It gives you a reason to show up, pulls you out of yourself, and reconnects you with the world. Being needed doesn't always come from family. It might be the dog waiting for your walk, the friend who counts on your phone call, the volunteer group that misses you when you skip a meeting, or even the neighbor who lights up when you wave from the porch. What matters is not the number of people who need you, but that at least one does. And if you're sitting there thinking no one needs you anymore, consider that there is always someone who could benefit from your presence, wisdom, or kindness, whether it's someone younger, someone lonely, or someone struggling. Even reaching out to offer encouragement can start the cycle again. When you feel needed, you begin to see your life through a different lens. You stand a little taller, care a little more, and feel once again that you belong. If you're still here, thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. If today's message touched something true in your life, just comment number 6 so I know you're here. And if you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss what's next. This channel is a gentle space where experience matters, kindness is shared, and growing older means something. I'm truly grateful you're here. Final thoughts. If you've stayed with us this far, take a moment to pause and really reflect on not just what you've listened to, but on what you've felt deep in your heart. Perhaps one of these 6 gentle reminders feels familiar, or maybe you've begun to realize that what has been missing in your life isn't as complicated as it seems. The truth is, growing older doesn't mean life has to be miserable. It's not age itself that weighs us down, but rather the absence of the simple things that make us feel truly alive. Let's take a walk down memory lane together. There's the comfort of having a daily routine that guides your day, the joy of small physical habits that fill you with energy, and the warmth of knowing you're not alone through heartfelt connections. There's also the spark of mental challenges that keep your mind lively, the reassuring sense of self-worth that honors your dignity, and the deep fulfillment that comes from feeling needed, whether by loved ones, friends, or your community. None of these require perfect health, a packed schedule, or even the strength of youth. They simply need a bit of intention and a willingness to reach for what your spirit already knows you deserve. Think of these 6 elements as quiet companions on your journey. They don't shout or demand attention, but when they are with you, life feels so much richer. And even if they are missing for a while, you can feel it in your bones, a gentle reminder that it's never too late to welcome them back. Whether you are 60 or 90, today is as good a day as any to begin reintroducing those little treasures into your life. Perhaps it begins with one small action, a new habit, a phone call to a dear friend, or a simple decision to honor the value within yourself. And even if it seems like no one else notices at first, remember that each small step is a reason to celebrate. Thank you for spending this time with us. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share one thing you've learned and how you might use it to brighten your day. Your reflections truly matter, and knowing your stories motivates us to keep creating heartfelt content. If you enjoyed listening, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing your support. It helps us continue to bring gentle inspiration and useful ideas to our community. As you go on with your day, remember this timeless saying: even the longest journey begins with a single step. May these words guide you and remind you that every step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward a brighter, more fulfilling tomorrow.